We don't live in an information age and we don't live in a post-industrial age. Those are just stupid things that people say. We live in a petroleum age because 2/3 of the energy used in the United States and in the world approximately comes from oil and gas, which we call petroleum.
Even those of us who have thought really hard don't really know how heavily dependent we are on petroleum.
Everything we do, you know, from the chairs we're sitting in, to the clothes that we're wearing, to the glasses on my face, I mean, everything ties back to fossil fuels.
If you look at sort of where the bulk of our fuel is spent, in the private sense, it's either on heating our homes or it's in our transport.
Even if you don't own a car, you don't drive, you're consuming oil just by eating. For every calorie of food you ingest, 10 calories of fossil fuel energy went into growing it, moving it, running refrigerators, driving to the store to get it. All that imposes a very tight relationship between agriculture and energy supply.
Until you actually watch the supply chain break, or you start trying to build a supply chain yourself and become part of that supply chain, then I think you really begin to realize how complex and how deeply dependent on, particularly on liquid fuels, we are.
And so we're completely dependent upon petroleum for society.
But we've got this short to medium term disaster arriving on our doorstep, more or less now, in the shape of oil decline, because after peak oil you get oil decline, and that's, that's a much worse problem than peak oil, really.
What this means is we're on the verge of having a serious oil crisis.
We've got a global energy crunch on the way.
It's going to have significant impacts upon the world because our demand for oil and demand for energy continues to rise at a relentless pace.
We are fast approaching a level where we have a real concern of shortages beginning. And what's really scary about shortages is we have no early warning system and no way to ration it, to stop demand.
And we're going to have difficulty meeting that demand. And if there is a lack of ability to meet that demand, things become more expensive.
Over a relatively short period of time, let's say maybe a year, 2 years, 18 months, something like that, we'll notice, you know, our current trends in oil price, you know, the way that they've been growing recently. I mean, it was in the past week, it's around $90 a barrel now, and what was it, a couple years ago it was 10. You know, it'll be like that, but a shorter period of time.
Demand from China and other countries, including America, are going to force the price of oil much higher.
Gasoline's still cheap compared to what it's going to be. It's really cheap compared to what it's going to be.
You're gonna have to spend a lot more money to get where you need to go. You're probably not going to spend, you know, money on road trips across America. You know, that aspect of college life is probably going to have to change.
You're not going to be driving your car anytime you want, wherever you want, and taking vacations all over the place.
It's no more spring break in Cancun. You know, it'll be spring break at home.
There will be a lot less air travel. I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot less air travel. I think there will be less vehicle miles traveled in general, and less food miles traveled in general as well.
The cost of everything is just going to grow out of control.
There will be a tremendous squeeze on discretionary spending in all kinds of ways. Already you can see that Walmart spending and Home Depot spending and even Target spending, people spending in those stores is going down as the price of gasoline goes up.
And what it's going to take to feed myself, clothe myself, house myself is going to be all the money that I can scrounge.
We got in this mess because we believed that the world had unlimited amounts of energy.
We're going to have some real surprises.
We use so much energy today and we waste so much that the constraints on the supply in the future won't allow us to continue on as we are.
It's something that we should be very, very worried about. It's something I worry about.